No, nothing. What is that, Brother Shah? What? You can hear us clearly? Okay. All right. Let's do that. Okay, Brother Abdul Wahab, I have also unmuted you. Go ahead, inshallah. Let's start from here. Brother Abdul Wahab, you are.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, is this better now or still it's echoing?
Inshallah, we can get started. I think not a lot of them are getting the echo, but I think a couple of the brothers are getting echo. I request those brothers who are getting echo, please join in through computer. Inshallah, let's see that way we can get rid of this echo problem. Go ahead, Brother Abdul Wahab. Go ahead. You can begin the session now. Inshallah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, welcome everyone. And as I was briefing what exactly this webinar and what we're going to do in this webinar. So it's going to be knowing what Linux is, its importance, its role in this present IT market, and what kind of different OS we have in the market, and within Linux, what are the different flavors of Linux. And what is its role in the IT world? So we will be talking about all of those things, inshallah. So before okay, echo is tolerable. All right. So before we begin, I see a lot of people. We cannot take introduction from everyone, even though we want to, because you're a guest on ALMPG. But just if you could go ahead and type in the chat your city and state name. Where are you from? So in that we will have an idea. All right. MashaAllah, we have people joining from all over the world. We have people from India, from US, pretty much all the states. Awesome. We have people from Canada. Cool.
And anybody from LA? Jazakallah khair.
Yeah.
Well, we welcome all of them. All of them. They are like our brothers and sisters, and inshallah, we want to help them in any way possible.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, this is a booster for us. That people are joining at night time in India. This is, alhamdulillah, this is a pretty good opportunity for us. See, people are joining from Dubai, alhamdulillah, Bhopal, MashaAllah. Look at that. Alhamdulillah, we wish we can help a lot more brothers out, but this is a good start. Inshallah, let's begin with this.
Yeah.
Bismillah.
I do see Praveen joining from my city, Hyderabad. Welcome, Praveen. Great. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you everyone for typing in. So we will get started now. And before I begin, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Linux. And this is, you know, at the end of the day, it's an operating system. So let me just open this file here. All right, let me make it a little bit clean, my desktop here. All right, so let's begin. I will just give a little bit of introduction about Linux, and then we will go right into the practicals. Okay, we will begin the hands-on thing. So I have made some notes, and we will go through that one, and we will do some real stuff. So Linux is basically an operating system. The way we have Windows, we have Linux as well. And what exactly the operating system is used for? It is used to run any application or a database or anything from which people can benefit. Okay, if you're not running any application or any database, then that OS is waste. That operating system is waste. Even you know, what we use Windows, you know, our personal PCs and stuff, we use it for some of the other application. Either we're using it for checking our emails and stuff, we're running a browser on that one. That is an application. We're running a Word document, an Excel sheet. That is an application. Excel, it's built in with the database. So whatever you save in your Excel sheet or in your Word, in the background, it's saving it in a database. Okay, so you do different things. You store data on your PC. Right, so you are using your operating system in one or the other way to run some application. So that is the purpose of the OS. Okay, OS. The purpose of OS is to run application or DB. Okay, so this is what we use the operating system for. Now you have two operating systems which are major operating system. One is Windows, the other one is the Linux. And one may say, how about Mac? So Mac is also Linux based. Some of us don't know that, but the Apple Mac laptop, you know, the OS, that is a Linux based. In the background, it's running Linux. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. You know, for your introduction, where you are from. It's very exciting and encouraging to know that alhamdulillah, so many participants joining from different countries, different cities. It's so good to be with you all. Thank you so much. So the operating system, the major category of operating system are two. One is the Windows, the other one is Linux. So Windows. And now we have Linux. So before we jump into Linux, what exactly is Linux? Linux is a command-based operating system. Okay, it's a command-based operating system. The base of it is UNIX. So this is a lot of time we get confused. What is UNIX and what is Linux, right? So what I would say is Unix is an open source operating system. Okay. Unix is an open source OS. So this is the core, this is the main ingredient of all the Linux operating systems. So this is an open source. So what happens is a company called Red Hat, okay? Red Hat, they took Unix operating system. Okay, they took Unix operating system, they customized it. All right, they customized it and they named it as RHEL. Okay, so IBM, a company like IBM, they took Unix again. Okay, and then they customized the Unix because it's an open source operating system, right? So they took it, they customized it, and they named it as AIX. Okay, and then Sun Microsystems, they took Unix. Okay, and they customized it and they named it as Solaris. Maybe you heard this one, right? And who else? So CentOS, right? CentOS, they did the same thing. They did the same thing, and they named it as the operating system name is CentOS itself. Okay. The format, font size. Is it better now? Okay. Yeah, so we'll get into it, Ubuntu and everything. We'll get into it. So, but this is just to give you an example. What is Unix and what is Linux? So now we know that, I mean, these people, they take the open source and they customize it. They add some flavors. They add more functionalities to it, and then they name it a different one. So now the Linux is so popular. Within Linux, we have so many different flavors. Okay, what is Linux? Linux is nothing but a Unix with some functionalities added to it. This will have let me do this. Let me not confuse you more. I wanted to take this one at a very basic level so that everyone can understand, and then slowly we'll go more advanced. So in the Linux, what happens is we have so many flavors within the Linux. So the most popular one is Red Hat. The second one is CentOS. This is an open source. This is a free OS. You don't need any license for this one, or neither you have to pay anything for this one. And there's Ubuntu. Okay, or let me do this. Ubuntu, Debian. Okay, so these are quite popular operating systems right now in the market. So this falls under Linux. Okay, so this falls under Linux, and the OS version, what is going on right now, the popular one is version 6. Version 6 is a popular one, but the latest one is version 7. Okay, I believe I think within 7, it's 7.4 is the latest one. Okay, so version 6, a lot of places when you go, when you see they are still with version 6, the difference between version 6 and 7 is not that much. There's a little bit more functionality added, a little bit difference in the commands, but 99% of the commands, they're the same. Okay. Version of what? Red Hat. That's an operating system version. Operating system version. Let me write down here. OS version. OS version of this is for RHEL, and then CentOS. Okay, so these are the versions. So today in this boot camp, what we're going to do is we're going to work with version 6 of Red Hat, and the operating system what we're going to use is CentOS. Okay, so far, is it clear? Am I doing it in the right way? Are you guys getting confused, or are you with me? Okay, can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay. All right. So, all right. That's good to know. So you guys, that's very good. Yeah. Yeah. So talking about in Linux, what we can do in Linux, there are so many things. One is we can work as a Linux administrator. This is for somebody who is looking forward to join, to enter into the workforce and start their career. This is also for somebody who is working as a developer or any other field, and who are looking for more knowledge in Linux. So for the beginners, for for the people who are looking for a job, you can learn Linux and you can start as a Linux administrator or a system administrator. All right. And definitely, for the developers, for the DBAs and everyone, even for the new fields, what are right now in the market, like AI, machine learning, the base, the servers on which they do all of these analytics are mostly Linux systems. So in one or the other way, you will interact with Linux in your IT world. Okay. So the other thing what I wanted to say is now, alhamdulillah, all of you are logged in using your computer. Most likely it is Windows, because the survey also shows that most of you are using a Windows-based operating system. Either it's Windows 7, 8, or 10. And I know some of the guests, they're also using Mac and Ubuntu as well. So that means you're more familiar with Linux. That's good. Yeah. So, and another thing what I wanted to mention is when you're using your Windows operating system, under the hood, you are already a system administrator, right? So, what exactly are the duties of the system administrator? It's installing the operating system on a machine, right? Creating the users on the machine, and creating the files and folders. Okay, installing the application. For example, you have Skype, or you may have some other tool like free conference call, or any of the things application what you run. You are installing that. Right. So in the background, you are a system administrator, but you are a Windows system administrator. What we are talking about here is Linux. So it's just a difference. You can consider these are boxes, right? A cube. Imagine a cube. All these operating system are a box or a cube you can imagine, and on top of that one, we're running applications. So to get into Linux administration, it's not that difficult because you are already there. But instead of Linux, you're working on Windows. Okay. So so this is a little bit of introduction about Linux, and what we have seen so far is what is the operating system. The two major operating systems, Windows and Linux. And what's the difference between Unix and Linux? Unix is basically, it's an open source operating system. Unix, it's a command line. It doesn't have much functionality. But Linux is something which somebody took Unix operating system and they customized it. They added some flavors to it, and then they made it Linux. Okay, and this is an example where Red Hat took the Unix and they named it as RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. IBM took Unix and they named it as Sun Microsystems. They took Unix and they named it as Solaris. So if if we want to come up with a new Linux operating system, this Unix is open source. The code is available. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to build a new Linux operating system, all I have to do is just take this Unix open source and start writing the functionality and with using the C language or something, and come up with the commands, and then I can make my own operating system and I can name anything, right? So Unix and Linux. So I think it's now it's clear what is the difference between Unix and Linux. Unix is an open source. Linux is somebody took that Unix and they customized it and they named it as Linux. And within the Linux has been got so popular. Yeah, we'll come to that. So the Linux itself has become so popular that within the Linux now we are seeing the different flavors started coming out. Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Debian, and there are a lot more. Okay, and somebody asked, like, what is the difference? Why we should use Linux over Windows? Windows is a good operating system. There's no doubt about it. But when you're running the applications, the critical applications, you need more stability. You need more robustness. Okay, so Windows is definitely, it's a good operating system, but some of its resources, the CPU memory usages, it goes to give this plush look, the GUI and everything. It has frequent updates to be done. It sometimes it requires you to force you to reboot the system, and all of those things. And when it comes to stability, time has proven that Linux is more stable. Linux is more robust when running, the applications. So some of the systems, which we work on, there's a command called uptime. Uptime. Okay, the command is called uptime. So it shows since when the system is running without any reboot. And sometimes it surprises us. The system is running since 3 years. 3 years the system is running without even any reboot. So this is the robustness of Linux, and that is the reason why you see everywhere most likely the operating system which in any organization they're using is Unix. It's Linux or any any of the flavor of the Unix. The Microsoft shop, if somebody is working in a Microsoft shop, any organization, the application is like running on a .NET or something. Then what happens is then you see everything is Windows. Everything is Microsoft. All the databases, they use MS SQL. The application is .NET, and guess what? The operating system, that is Windows as well. So I'm not saying that it's a really low performance OS, but it is good. But if there is a choice to be made, then people go with Linux. And another advantage of Linux is cheaper than Windows. If you go onto the cloud, Amazon or Google or anywhere, and you see the pricing, for the operating system when you're creating an instance, a server, when you select Linux, it's cheaper. And some of the flavors of Linux, they're free, right? But if you see Windows, they're charging, and even if you see the paid version like Red Hat versus Windows is more expensive. And when you select Windows, the Linux takes a few seconds to boot. The Windows takes 2 to 3 minutes to boot, right? So there's a lot of differences between this one, even when it comes to performance, when it comes to pricing, and from a manager perspective, from the owner of the business perspective, those people look for the stability, the robustness, the dependability, and the second thing obviously is the cost. And when everything is favoring towards Linux, towards the the RHEL or CentOS, then it's hard to go back to Windows. So it's so that is the reason why most of the people who are using Windows, either they're from Microsoft Azure Cloud or they have the Microsoft shop, right? So .NET application, MS SQL database, and obviously those things will run better on Windows operating system. All right, so this is a little bit of background, and the theory here. We have done a little bit of introduction. Now I wanted to go straight into the practical stuff. What I'm going to do is, 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what are the applications which we will be using to create an environment on your machine, so that we create the Linux operating system, the VMs, and then we can start practicing it. All right. So shall we proceed with that, with the practical stuff? All right. So you guys are with me? Okay. All right. Sounds good. So the applications what we will be using in the on our Windows to install. So I'm going to use the Windows operating system. My Windows version is Windows 10. Okay. And let me start sharing this with you. So what we will be using is a tool called Vagrant. Okay, this is the tool which we will be using. Let me increase the font here. Okay. It's possible if you can write. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll be sharing the notes. Okay, I'll be sharing the notes and everything. So you guys should be fine. So what we will be doing, we will be using a tool called Vagrant. Okay, this is a most popular tool. It's free. Okay, and we will be using the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay. So if any of you have used VirtualBox, you should be good. All you need to do is do a Vagrant. If you guys have both of these tools, that is awesome, and you don't even have to do any installation. How about others? Can you guys hear my voice properly? Okay. All right. So if any of you, if you have any issues with the voice, either you can rejoin or just dial it with your phone and just watch the video and listen from your phone. Okay. Brother Elias, Brother Dawood, do you want me to log off and log in again, or do you think it's okay? It's fine. Okay. A lot of people say that it's fine. Okay. Yes, Brother Elias is to continue, so I will proceed. What I'm going to do is, how many of you are familiar with VirtualBox? VirtualBox, it's a pretty popular tool in which you can create the VMs. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me explain you in this way. Okay. So I think you guys are familiar with the virtual machines, right? Virtual machines and VMs. We can create VMs on a desktop, on a machine. Okay. All right. So let me do this. Okay. All right. Yeah. So let me do this. So can you see my screen now? So in the previous time, what we used to do is we used to have physical boxes on which we used to install the OS. Okay. Now the next generation is instead of having these small physical boxes, what we did was we have a big box, okay, and then we create VMs on this box. VM1, okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Sorry about this. This is a new tool what I'm using. So, but something is better than nothing. And this is the main OS. Okay, this is the main OS. So this is this will be the Windows at the bottom. What you see. Yes. I think you're not able to view this application. 1 second. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see it now, the notepad? Okay, all right, okay. So so the first generation what we worked on was the physical boxes on which we used to install a particular operating system, and the next generation is the virtualization. So what you do is instead of installing an OS on individual boxes, we came up with a big machine which has a lot of resources, like maybe 32 CPUs or 64 CPUs, and the memory, the RAM is like 100 GB, 120 GB, and then within that machine, what we did was we created the VMs. We started creating the VMs. So imagine in a data center. In a data center where you have 100 machines, 100 physical boxes, which will take a lot of electricity, a lot of space, and a lot of cooling. Imagine those 100 boxes. Those 100 boxes is now replaced with 2 boxes, right? Yeah. So VirtualBox Windows host. It seems for technical reasons this package will be made available later. So yeah, let me come to that, Farhan. Let me just just give a little bit introduction, and then I'll start sharing the links with you, and then you should be able to download and install on it. So so the first generation was the physical boxes. The second generation was virtualization, where within one box you can create multiple VMs. Okay, and that's what we're going to do now. So on our Windows host, what we will be doing is we will be installing the VirtualBox. Okay. I mean, I'm just speaking, so let me just do some movement here. Do you see this window ALMPG right now? Try downloading for me. Yes. So do you see my screen, Brother Dawood, Brother Ilyas? I have the ALMPG browser open. Okay, one second. Let me just pause it and then share the screen. Share. Okay, so I re-shared my screen. So can you see it now? The ALMPG browser. Okay. All right, can you see it now? Okay, cool. All right, okay, got it. So what I was saying was the tool what we will be using is Oracle VirtualBox, but with this VirtualBox we'll be using another tool called Vagrant. Let me show you something here. Okay, so this is the VirtualBox. Can you see my screen now? Okay, so this is our host, which has the Windows operating system. Okay, this is the Windows operating system what we have. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create VMs on this one. So this is VM1, this is VM2, this is VM3. Okay, so these are the VMs, but the machine what we have this is the Windows machine. So this one will be the base OS, and here what we're doing is we're doing virtualization. So we will be having 3 hosts, all Linux based, and we will be running it on our Windows operating system. And if somebody is using Mac, don't worry, because the links what I'm gonna paste it, the packages are for both. They will give an option. If you have Windows, you can download the Windows exe file. If you have a Mac or an Ubuntu, the packages will be available. Okay, so this is our plan on our Windows. Yeah, for Fedora, I think I am not sure, but Fedora, you just have to Google it and see, if they have that package for Fedora or not. But yeah, so you'll have to see. I don't know about the Fedora, but once we go to that link to download it, we will see at that time. Okay, so this is our plan. We have the Windows operating system. It doesn't matter 7, 8, or 10. It's the same package, and we will download it and we will start using it. One more thing. So the Oracle VirtualBox, once you install the VirtualBox, it will be, you will see a window like this, okay? And then you will see, if you create 3 VMs, you will see VM1, okay? VM2, you'll see VM3 here, okay? And if you click each VM, you will see the details on the right side. Let's say if you click this VM, you will see all the details of this this VM here. Okay, and we could have used VirtualBox directly, but there's an issue with that. I mean, in the VirtualBox, what we need to do is we need to download the ISO image, the operating system for Linux on our Windows PC, and then do the installation from scratch and all of those things. Okay, so this is tedious and it takes time. So the new technology which came in, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it. Download the version since most of it. Yes, that's what we're gonna do, brother AC or sister. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the CentOS. So this is the VirtualBox. Okay, this is the VirtualBox. This is from Oracle. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a new tool called Vagrant. This is Vagrant. Okay, this is the Vagrant. So what this tool do is this will control the VirtualBox. This will totally take control over the VirtualBox. So what that means is you don't even have to log into VirtualBox anymore. This tool, it will take care of creating the VMs, stopping the VMs, starting the VMs, deleting the VMs. Everything will be taken care of Vagrant. So remember this picture in your mind, and what we will do is we will install Vagrant, we will install VirtualBox, and then I'll show you how you can create VMs using the Vagrant tool. All right, so let me go back to my notepad here, and also this Git bash is a good tool to use. This is like a command line tool. It will give you the feeling of the Linux on your Windows itself. Okay, so what we will do is first we will download the Vagrant tool. Okay, here's the link. So I pasted in the chat. So go to the link, and at the same time, I will also go to this link. All right. So these are the flavors what we have. So for the Windows user, download the Windows 64-bit. Okay. So you're with me. Did you go to this link? Okay, so click on Windows 64-bit. Most likely your PC is 64-bit, so just click this one. Okay, and we will do it step by step. Biswas, first we will do Vagrant, and then we will jump onto our VirtualBox. So let's all download this one. This is the Vagrant from Vagrant website. This is a free tool from HashiCorp. Okay, so download this one. Somewhere you can create a folder on your Windows, for in downloads or wherever it is, and just name that as a Linux Bootcamp or something, and then start putting everything in there. Yes, go ahead and install it. I'll show you how to do that. So it's on my desktop. I saved it here. So this is the Vagrant. Okay, you double click this one, and all you need to do is just go next, next, next. Okay. These installations will take somewhere from 30 seconds to maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. So all you need to do is, I've already installed, but all you need to do is just go with next, 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 and then it should complete the install. Yeah, it may take a little bit time, but not that much, because for me it took maybe like a minute or so. That's it. And I hope that you have enough resources on your system. We don't need a very high-end PC, but maybe like around 3 to 4 GB of RAM, and i3, i5, i7, anything like that would work. So I think I already have this, so it's not giving me to proceed or something. I don't know. But once you install it, let me know. Did somebody finish installing it already? Okay, great. All right, looks good. So the second link, what I'm going to share is for. Okay, no problem. Take your time. Okay. So that's the Vagrant. Second, what I'm going to suggest is to do this git bash. Okay. So this is like a command line. You have a command prompt, something like that, and this is really good to use when you're learning Linux and stuff. Install the default HashiCorp or in the bootcamp folder. You can do it anywhere. No, do it default. Do it default. Whatever we are saving, let's save it in that in the Linux bootcamp thing. But whatever we are installing, let it take it by default. Okay. So the second thing is to install the git bash. So for the git bash, you go to the browser and do this. So you can do this one, and for the Mac users, Ubuntu, Fedoras, you don't have to do this because you are already on Linux. Okay, so you don't have to do a git bash. Okay, so again, for the Mac people, for the Linux-based operating system, please do not install the git bash because you already have a terminal. So just click download and save it to your folder, and then start installing this one as well. And I would highly encourage you to do this so that you will have the Linux environment right now on your systems. But for some reason, you don't want to do it, that is fine. You can definitely look on my screen how those applications would work. Don't worry about it. If for some reason you're not able to do it, you will be seeing the demo later on. These are very famous tools to install. You can find it a lot of material about it. You can see YouTube videos how to install it and everything. So I would highly encourage you to do this. If for some reason you're not able to do it, don't get lost. You can still see how things works and how those applications will come into life by seeing my desktop. Yes, yes. Yes, we are recording the session, so you will be having the access to it. Yeah. Yes, Asif, just select the defaults. Just select the defaults, and you can proceed. So how's the Vagrant installation going on? Did people complete the Vagrant installation as well? Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's taking some time, so that is fine. No problem. The Vagrant icon, don't worry about it. we will, once we install the Git, we will see the version and everything of it. So as long as it says it's installed, it's finished, yeah, we should be good. Yes, this is something which we may have to do. We may have to restart our systems, and when we are talking about restarting, there is one specific thing which we put it as a prerequisite, that it's called VTX. VTX, and we have to enable that one. That will help in virtualization. So I'm not sure you have done that or not. It's in you have to enable it from the BIOS menu. Okay. So yes, yes, Shabazz, yeah, that's right. So what we need to do is, once you install the Vagrant, it will prompt you for a reboot. You can do the reboot that is required. And while doing the reboot, if you do not have VTX enabled on your laptop, you may have to do that. Okay. So VTX is something, let me show you. It's yeah. So if you can see my screen, this was the email which we sent you guys. So what it is, it's called VTX. Okay, this is the VTX. This is the thing. So you can enable this from your BIOS menu. When you reboot your laptop, you can go into the BIOS menu and you look for this virtualization technology. Okay, VT stands for virtualization technology, and you will have to enable this one. If you do not do this, when you're creating a VM, it will not let you create it. Okay, so this is something which you need to do. Yeah, so Brother Elias is also trying to help us out. Right, so when you're rebooting it, make sure that you also enable this thing, so you can hit two birds in one shot. Okay, so and for different laptops, the settings will be different. For different OS, it will be different, but you can find it out for your specific laptop type, and how you change this one, VTX virtualization. Just put your laptop name and the Windows version, and then you can just see how to enable virtualization, and you should be able to do this. Okay, so how about the Git bash? Have you completed the Git bash also, installing on Windows? Okay. All right. So let me go to the third one, which is Oracle VirtualBox. Yes, if it is asking you to do it right away, you can do it. If not, then let's complete the VirtualBox installation as well, and then we can do a reboot at that time. So if somebody already have the VirtualBox on their laptops, you don't have to do it. Okay. This is for people who do not have VirtualBox installed on their laptops at this moment. Okay, so this is the link for the VirtualBox. So you can go to this link. Let me just okay. So here, the VirtualBox version you have for different OSs, and this package will be made available later. Wow. For Windows, they removed the package at this moment. So does everyone see this one, this error? Yes. The VTX is just a feature that will be enabled on your laptop, but that doesn't mean that you can start creating the VMs. For that, you need to install the VirtualBox. Okay. So if if you guys see the same thing, that for Windows host, for technical reasons, this package will be available later. If you see this, then you can go for a low version, which is 5.1. Yeah. So the VirtualBox, if 5.2 is on your system, on your browser, it's the same thing. It could be for my region, and from where you're accessing the VirtualBox, you have this link available. If not, then go for VirtualBox 5.1 builds. Yes, for the Git Bash, please go ahead and select all the default options. You don't have to change anything. Yes, so Brother Firdaus, you can do VirtualBox 5.1. Okay. Go for 5.1 builds. Wow, even for 5.1, it says the package is not available. So this is a popular tool, so you should be able to get it from other sources as well. Download VirtualBox. Okay, let me see. Okay, a lower version will be fine as long as it's 5.1. Yes, the 5.1.34 version is available, so you can download this one. And select for the 64-bit. AMD 64 should be fine. Yeah, so Brother Shaba says that it's already also available on the Oracle website. Yeah, and Brother Saad also pasted the link for that, so you can use that link as well. So download the VirtualBox version 5.2 or 5.1. Yes, for the Mac, you have that. Just give me 1 second. VirtualBox. Okay, and for the Mac, you see you have the version 5.2 also, right? So you can just go ahead and download for the Mac OS X. This is the Mac OS X. OS X is for the Mac. And when you're doing the VirtualBox installation, leave everything by default. And on one of the screen, it will ask you, do you want its icon to be on the desktop? Do not uncheck that one. Just check everything, because we want its icon to be on our desktop, just like this one. Okay. The name is Git Bash. We will be using that. Yeah, we will be needing that Git Bash. And once you install it, if it's not on your desktop, you can just copy and put a link here, so that it will be easier for us to start the Git Bash. So on our desktop, we want Git Bash and Oracle VirtualBox. Yes. So let me explain this again. Brother RF requested how the Vagrant works. If you see my screen now, on the right side you have the Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, you have the Oracle VirtualBox. We can create VMs and stuff. Without even using the Vagrant. Okay, within the VirtualBox, we can create VM1, VM2, VM3, but this process, the way we create it, it's very tedious and old-fashioned. Because for this one, first of all, you need an ISO for CentOS. So that is around 500 MB or maybe 1 gig or something, right? It's a link for the Oracle. Okay, let me copy you the Oracle link. VirtualBox. Yeah. So just with the VirtualBox, we can create the VMs. That is no problem. But the process is very tedious and it takes a lot of time. When you wanted to use just a VirtualBox to create the VMs, the first thing is you need to download the ISO. Okay. For example, if you're using CentOS, then you have to download the CentOS ISO. That is 400, 500 GB. Okay, and then manually, physically, you'll have to go open this GUI, the VirtualBox, and then create. There will be a tab called New, and then you will create the new VM. Let me show you. Okay, this is how the VirtualBox icon looks like, and then once you double-click it, it will open like this. So on, if you see my screen, these are all the VMs what I have created. Okay, and all of them are powered off right now. So if you just have the VirtualBox and no Vagrant, the way you do is you click New, and then you give the name to the machine, and then you select the operating system. You go next, 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 and then you create a VM, and then it will appear here. Okay. And you, while creating it, you also give the link where your ISO is saved on your PC, okay, the path, and then it will start installing it, and the whole OS will go through step by step, and then finally you will have an OS. So it takes a lot of time. Instead of this, what we will be doing is we will be using the Vagrant, and the Vagrant will help us do everything. Okay, it will download the image for you, it will install it, and just with a command saying that Vagrant space up, your VM will be up. You don't even have to touch the VirtualBox if you use the Vagrant. So you will see all of those things in action in a bit, but let's give some time for our other brothers and sisters, and once they do it, all three have been downloaded. Do you want me to restart? Yeah, once you have done it, you have to restart it, but the thing is, if on your system, if VTX is not enabled, you must enable that one. VTX must be enabled. Okay, so VTX must be enabled. So if you're on your laptop, you think if it's not enabled, this is a good time for you to stop your system in the BIOS menu and look for the option where you can enable the virtualization or VTX. Enable that and then bring up your laptops. As long as it says that it's finished install, you are fine. Let me see one thing here. Vagrant. So you can type Vagrant here, and you will see the Vagrant run command thing here. But don't worry, as long as it says it's finished, we will see that in action in a bit. Git from Git Bash or Windows command option. Git Bash is this is one of the tools which we installed. So we will work on that one for those. I didn't understand your question. Git from Git Bash or Windows command option. I didn't get that. Mustafa, the command option will not give you that much of flexibility. It has limited functionality, the command prompt. So it's better you go with Git Bash. Zarina, are you talking about the options while installing the Git Bash, or which options are you talking about? Yeah, just go with the default option. Whatever the option it's giving you, just go with that. Firdaus, just select the default options. It should you should see the default option. Just go next, next, next. Yeah, just go ahead with that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get your question at the first time, but whatever you see the default option, let it be CMD or whatever it is, just go, you can go with that. Windows installer soon available link. Yeah, Shabazz, you can download a lower version. You don't have to do 5.2. We see the 5.1.34 option is available, so you can go with that. See here, if you click VirtualBox 5.1 builds, and if 5.1.36 is not available, but 5.1.34 is available. So select 64-bit. Brother Manover, what is your issue? Let me see here, 5.1.1.34. Once I click it, it's giving me the option to download it. So you can download it and just start installing it. One more time. How to download the VirtualBox? Yes, VirtualBox. Alicia, you can see my screen. All you need to do is go to this page, VirtualBox. Let me copy paste the 5.1 builds as well, this link. That's for 5.1 build. It will be on this page. And 5.1.36 is not available for 5.1.34. And for Windows Host, this is the link. Brother Munawar, are you talking about the VirtualBox installation? Is that the one? Biswas, we don't have to start Vagrant at this moment. You know, once you're done with it, you know, just sit tight and we will begin the work. Okay, Munawar, this sounds good, man. Thank you. Yeah, for Mac, yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Do we need to download Git Bash? Yes, Sayed, we have to download that one and install it on the PC. We need 3 tools at this moment: Git Bash, Vagrant, and VirtualBox. These are the 3 tools which we will be using. Yeah, Brother Asim, don't worry about the Vagrant to start that one. We will see that in action in a bit. Okay, from Git Bash we will use the Vagrant, so you don't have to start that. Okay, Git Bash is basically it's a functionality, and it's not like an application which opens on your system. So as long as it says installation finished successfully, you're good. So just sit tight. Yeah, don't worry about it, Khan. At this moment, we will see that in action. So at this moment, all I want you guys to do is just install those 3 things, reboot your system, and make sure that VTX is enabled on your PCs. So here's the link for the Javed for the 5.1. Manover, as long as you have enabled it from your PC, from your BIOS, you should be good. But you can check it on Google how you verify that your ATX is enabled. There should be some you know, way you can check that one on your PC. So just Google on it, and you know, if possible, please paste the link as well how we verify that. Yeah, Brother Farooq, he pasted one link for Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 8. Yeah, you can click on that link and see if your VTX is enabled or not. All right, guys, how are we doing now? Do you want to go ahead and reboot your PCs? Yeah. So what we will do is, as how many? I mean, I think there should be a lot of people. Everybody should need a reboot because that's what Vagrant says. Okay. So what we will do is, the folks who are done with the installation, all of the 3 installations, you can go ahead and reboot your PCs and rejoin. Great. Brother Mushtaba, all done, rebooted, and joined. MashaAllah, that's excellent. So we will be starting very soon, and let's see some of the confirmations, and we can proceed with creating the VMs. Great. Well, Brother Arif, the Docker is the next step, and that's the next revolution. But at this moment, a lot of people, they haven't moved to Docker. That will be the future. But at this moment, a lot of the IT companies, probably 95% of them, they are still using the Linux operating system, and they haven't moved to containers yet. But even though that will be the future, that is the amazing technology. But at this moment, the VMs and the OS, that is which is widely used. Great, Mo. Good to know that. Let's give it some time, and then we can start the practical stuff. Naqib, one of the brother, he pasted the link how you verify that one. If you scroll back in the chat, you should be able to see that. As long as you enable it from your BIOS menu, you should be good. It looks like it's a big article to read and find out how you do it. How to check? Check. Check computer. Yeah, it's talking about some task manager, this and that. So please go through this one, and you should be able to find out. Yeah, this is the link. All right, so how many of you have installed all the 3 applications, rebooted, and made sure that they have VTX enabled on their systems? You download. Okay, let me, Brother Khan, let me send you the links for that. Yeah, Alicia, the link which I pasted above, it gives, there's an article how you check that one. Please follow that one. Let me also. All right, sounds good. So I do see a lot of people have already did all the 4 things, installing 3 applications and also rebooting it with VTX enabled. That's very good. So, so what do you think? Shall we proceed furthermore? So I do see a lot of yes and a 5-minute as well. So I think let's wait for another 5 minutes and then we will proceed. So everybody who are in a process to do it, please complete it within 5 minutes, and then we will proceed in 5 minutes and see things in action. So the people who already did this, can you start your git bash? So just in your Windows search, you can type git bash and open this one. If you open it, it will look like this. Let me know how many of you have are able to open this one. Okay, Mushtaba, great. That's a good thing, man. All right, Brother Asif also. Okay, great. Yeah. So we have few people who are able to do it. And please run this command, vagrant space dash dash version. And it should show you like this. So that's the command, vagrant space dash dash version. Are you able to see the vagrant version in git bash? Okay. Great. Awesome. So now you see that how we can check Vagrant, its version, and it's a confirmation as well that did we install it successfully or not. All right, looks good. So the guests who are still in the process, don't worry about this thing. I will show this thing again. So please complete your process and reboot your laptops and rejoin the meeting. Brother Khan, once you download all three things, you have to install it and then reboot it. Brother Asim Safraz, where exactly are you missing? Did you download all three applications? Did you do that? Let me know if you need any help, Asim. You're saying that you need some help, so okay. Using your phone. This was, so you can open the git bash, the one which we installed, and then run the command vagrant space dash dash version. You see it on my screen? Yes, I am available on LinkedIn. You can search with my name, with my email. You should be able to find me, and you can add me, inshallah. All three installed and open git bash. Check the version, vagrant version. That's very good, Fussy. And I need more yeses that you have installed it and you've rebooted your PC. Okay, great. That's good to know. So some of the people are asking my email. So here it is. It's wahab14@gmail.com, and my name is Abdul Wahab Muhammad. This Mujib, this is not a Vagrant window. It is a git bash window. So you double click the git bash, and then you can start running the commands in it. Yeah, just double click git bash, and once this black window opens, you can type the command vagrant space dash dash version. Hassan, most likely you should be good. Most likely you should be good. If not, then you can do that later on. That's not a problem. When we will be creating the VMs at that time, if your VTX is not enabled, it will give you the error. So at that time, you can quickly reboot and enable that one. This is not me. Unfortunately, let me. This is not me. So. This is me. All right, so 5 minutes are done. I hope pretty much all of you have installed the 3 applications, rebooted your PCs, enabled the VTX. Was a clear command on git bash. For that one, you just do clear. Storage and backup workshop. Well, to be honest, the storage and backup both will be, sunsetted, and those technologies may not be as good. I may be wrong, but the way the cloud is, penetrating the market, those things will be taken care by, the cloud admins only. So the storage, and if you are in that field, that's good. You can continue. There's always on-premise thing, but if you are looking for a field which you can look for the next 10 years, then I would not recommend going into the storage and backup stuff, because cloud is moving into the market really fast. So once you are in the cloud, then there's no place for people who are networking and backup and storage, because everything is being taken care of by by the cloud admins. But it's good to know, to have an idea about the backup and the storage and how different components of infrastructure works. I will give a brief overview of all of those components probably close to the end of this webinar. All right, so shall we proceed with the steps? I want yeses now, so we can proceed. All right, so we have a lot of yeses to proceed. And just in case, if you are not able to install these applications for some reason, do not worry. You can follow the the camp, the Linux boot camp, and you can always install these things later on, because there are so many resources available. If you look on the YouTube, how to install git bash, how to install Vagrant, VirtualBox, they will guide you step by step with all the screenshots and everything. So don't worry about it. And for some reason, if you're not able to do it, just follow the presentation and try to understand it. Okay, so that's what we will do. Recording. All right, so Brother Elias also says that we will be having everything recorded on our YouTube channel. You can always go back to that one. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about Vagrant. Okay, so this is one of the feature of Vagrant, where you can go and download the boxes. Okay, so if I go back here on the git bash, so this is the command line, and you can this will show you a Windows box, all the directories. Okay, if I do cd, then right now I'm at the owner folder. Okay, so if I wanted to list everything, the command is ls. Okay, but if you use the command prompt, it will tell you to use dir. It will not recognize the ls command. It is exactly like a Linux shell on Windows. Okay, so this is a very beautiful tool where you can run the commands of Linux, but it is on your Windows system. So for example, if I wanted to go inside the downloads folder, I do cd downloads. If I just type do, and if I hit the tab, it will auto-complete it. Okay, it will auto-complete this one. Okay, so cd downloads, if I go inside the downloads, this is my downloads folder. And if I access the same thing from the Windows GUI, this is where I am. So if I go downloads, and you see this one, these are the exact same thing. Okay, so here you see AWS, Linux administration from your Windows side. from the Windows side, if I go into downloads, you see the same thing: AWS, Family, GCP, Linux, all of these things, right? So here we are using our Windows. Okay, so we're going inside. If I wanted to go inside, Linux, what I do is I double-click this one, and now I'm here. Okay, if I wanted to go inside the practice, I double-click it. Okay, and now I'm inside here. And if I highlight this one, if you see on the top here, if I highlight this one, you can see the path. Okay, the C is the drive, and inside the C drive, the first folder is users, and owner, and then download, and Linux administration, and then the practice. Okay, so we use the GUI, we came inside here, but where exactly we are, if you want to find it out, you just highlight this one and it will give you the path. Okay, if I copy this path, okay, and if I open another folder, Windows Explorer. Okay, I open another folder, and here on top, if I copy paste that link, okay, if I copy paste it, it will take me right in here. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is how you how you do it in Linux and how you do it in Windows. If you want to access the practice folder from Windows perspective, what you do is you just go to downloads, and then you see here Linux, you double click this one, and then you see practice folder, you double click this one, and then you are here in. Okay, this is how we do it in Windows. But let's say if I want to do the same thing in Linux, what I'll do is I'll do CD downloads, okay, and then inside the downloads I'll go here and I'll do ls, and I'll see Linux administration. Okay, so I would do CD Linux administration. Okay, and just an FYI, my typing is not fast, but what I'm doing is I'm just typing L and I'm hitting the tab key, so it's auto completing it. Okay, so autocomplete functionality, you have it in the git bash. So you do CD Linux, you go inside here, and then you do ls, and now you see the practice folder, you do CD practice. Okay, hit enter, you're inside here, you do ls, and you see the same folder here from the command line and here from the GUI. Okay, and if you want to see where you are, you have to do the command pwd. Okay, and in the pwd it shows you the path where you are right now. Okay, this is the path where you're right now. Okay, so this is how you do it. Just to give you a flavor how the Linux looks like and how the Windows looks like. At the end of the day, both are the operating system. One is Windows, one is Linux. But in this scenario, even this one is the same Windows PC. Okay, so don't get confused. So far, we haven't installed Linux. So far, we haven't begun Linux. All we are on the Windows box itself. And I'm going to show you how we use the git bash. And if you use the command prompt, you will not have these functionalities. Okay, command prompt has very limited features, and especially when you wanted to learn Linux, this is a good way to practice the commands of Linux, within the Windows. Okay, I think it's a case sensitive. You have to do a lowercase ls. It will work. If I do uppercase ls, it's still working. It's still working. Yes. So another thing is just to give you a differentiation between. Let me just open this one. Okay. So in Windows, okay, this is Windows, and this is Linux. Okay, Windows you have files. Okay, and even in Linux you have files. In Windows you have folders. Okay, in Linux you have directories. Git bash, there's so many resources. Just type into the Google saying that commands on git bash or something, and then all of those will pop up. But just to let you know, Munawar, the commands what we are using is you're going to learn those commands because these are Linux commands. ls and cd and mkdir, vi a file, all of these are Linux commands. So I'm going to get to it in a bit, but don't worry about that one. We'll take it step by step. Okay. So in Windows you have files, in Linux also you have files. In Windows it's called folders, in Linux you call directories, and then if you wanted to go into some of the folder, you click folders, okay? You click folders and then subfolders, and then you see the file. But in Linux, you use a command called cd folder. Okay, this is what you do in Linux. Okay, so these are some of the basic things. Just keep it in your mind, and then as we move ahead, we're gonna see all different things, like what are the basic commands for Linux, and you will see all of those things. Okay. All right. So I was talking about the Vagrant here, and Vagrant. We downloaded the package of Vagrant, and we haven't seen the power of Vagrant as of yet. What Vagrant is, it's a cloud, and it provides you all the images. Okay, you can search for the images, and you will find all the images here. For example, if I do CentOS, you will see all the CentOS. And the Vagrant is so powerful, and so it's so into the mainstream that the companies like CentOS, they have uploaded their image. So this is the operating system. Okay, and you see the downloads. It says 4,691. No, sorry, 4 million downloads. I think this is 4 million downloads. Okay, and anyone can come and upload their image here, and you can download it for free. Okay, so and this, for example, the CentOS, it supports the VM on these hypervisors. So what we are using is we're using VirtualBox, and somebody, if they have VMware, they can also use this image. Let's say if you want Debian, okay, Debian, you will find it here. Let's say you want Windows. You find the Windows here, Windows 2012, and a lot of people, they keep uploading this stuff. Okay, so this one, 156,000 people downloaded this one. Okay, so what we are interested in is CentOS. Okay, if I do CentOS, now you see all these people, they have uploaded the CentOS image here. Okay, and even you will find the images which are already customized. For example, there's a tool called Puppet. It's a DevOps tool. If you hit this one, even Puppet Labs, they have uploaded here the CentOS image, and in this image, the Puppet is already installed. Okay, if you wanted to do Chef, this is also a DevOps tool. So you see here that these things, they already have installed Chef, Puppet, and everything, and they created an image, a baked image. What you do is you just download it, you install the machine, okay, and then everything is with you installed. Okay, so for example, if I type Apache, the Apache, Nginx, MySQL, all of these images, these people, what they have uploaded here, they have already installed these applications on the image on the Linux, and then they have uploaded it. So you have so much of variety, and everything is for free. Okay, so this is a very good tool. Let me copy paste the link here. All right, so I'll share these notes with you. Don't worry about it. But just this is the link where you go and you download the images. Okay, so now with the Vagrant, what we can do is let me clear the screen here. Okay, so we are in Windows still. Okay, we haven't downloaded Linux, or we haven't started with Linux yet. So this is the my Windows box, and I'm using the bash. This is basically what you see. And now I'm going to show you how we can download the Vagrant images. All right. So if we don't install Vagrant, then we won't be able to do it. We won't be able to get connected to the Vagrant cloud, and we won't be able to download the images. Okay. So let me run a command. Vagrant box list. So now it's going to list the images what I already have. Okay, so these are the images which I already downloaded it. And if I wanted to download more images, what I need to do is Vagrant box add, and any image which I want to. For example, let's say if I want to download Ubuntu. So I don't have this image. Ubuntu Trusty 64, I have this one, and Ubuntu Zenile, this one. So Ubuntu / Zenile. So most likely what I need to do is Ubuntu Zenile, XENIAL 64. XENIAL 64. Now you see that the box is being downloaded. Okay, you see all the messages popping up saying that it's downloading the box and stuff. Yeah, so at this moment we are just downloading the boxes. Okay, we haven't started the installation yet. Okay, so now you're seeing that the download is in progress. It's downloading, and what it did was just because you already have Vagrant on your box, it knows the address where to go and download the images. We didn't give any of those things. It does the URL. It's going to the Vagrant cloud and Ubuntu Zenile 64. And what is Ubuntu Zenile 64? Ubuntu is the name of the user. So the official Ubuntu, this is the official Ubuntu image. So the first field you see is the name of the organization who have uploaded this image on Vagrant. And Zenile 64 is they just gave a name to it, okay, to that image. No. I'm just showing you. You don't have to download it, but I'm just showing you how you download the box first, and that is the step 1, and then you install using that box. So now let me run the command again. Vagrant box list. If I do this now, in the list you should see Ubuntu Zenile. Okay, and this is the image we just downloaded. Okay, and to know the commands, what are the different commands, you can just do Vagrant and hit enter, and it will give you a list of all the commands. Okay, so these are the commands. So I type Vagrant and I just hit enter. It's going to give me all the commands what we can use. Vagrant box, we can Vagrant destroy. If you want to destroy any VM, you just do Vagrant space destroy space the name of that box. And Vagrant halt is to stop the VM. Okay, and you have all different things here. Vagrant push, Vagrant reload. It's like reboot a VM or something. Vagrant if there's a machine which we pause, to unpause that when you do resume. And all these things. So we don't need all of these commands. We need a few from here. So as we go along, I'm going to show you that. So at this moment, what I wanted to show you is, how we see the boxes on our system, okay, and how we download any of the boxes we want, and then recheck this one, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy it. Okay, so I have this already. Vagrant commands, and this is how you see the box list and everything. Okay, so we have this one now. Let me clear the screen. To clear the screen, you type the command clear, and it will clear the screen. Okay, so the next thing is if you wanted to start the Vagrant, right? So you can create any of the directory, any folder. So at this moment, you guys can open your Git Bash. Okay, you guys can open your Git Bash. Yeah, you don't have to see Vagrant icon, Brother Muhammad. It is running in the background, so you don't need to see. The Git Bash will take care of everything. Just open the window Git Bash. Open the window Git Bash, and from here you can do all the stuff. Okay, so if I wanted to see where I am right now on Windows, I do pwd, and it shows that I'm inside Downloads and Linux Administration Practices. If I wanted to come back one step behind, I mean, instead of being in practice, if I wanted to jump in Linux Administration, a folder above it, I do cd ... And now you can see from practice, I'm in Linux Administration. Okay, so these are the commands which which will help us in learning Linux. And by the way, all of these commands, pwd, cd, these are the basic Linux commands, and this is what we use in day-to-day Linux operating system usage. It saves Mustafa. It saves on your local PC on one of the folder. Vagrant. It creates a folder, and that's where it saves all of those images. Okay, so from the cloud, we downloaded it on our PC, those images, those boxes. PWD, the full form is present working directory. It will show us where are we at this moment. So, in Windows, if you wanted to see where we are, so this is, the one which I added, this is the path where we are right now. So if I show you this window and if I ask you where exactly are these folders and files residing, how would you know? You just highlight this one, and then now you can see, oh, we're in downloads folder, we're in Linux administration, and then we're in a practice subfolder. That's where we are. So similarly, in Linux, if you want to see where you are, you do pwd, and then it will show you where exactly you are at this moment. Maybe you're making a typo or something. Just go to the just paste the command what you're using. No, you can create any folder you want. You can create Linux administration or whatever you want. So in the downloads folder, let's create a folder called Linux. Just do Linux or Linux administration. Let's do Linux administration. Okay. Just create a folder called Linux administration. From the git bash, how you do it is the command is mkdir. Okay, mkdir, and then you do Linux administration. It's yeah. So just do this Linux administration. I think there's a typo, Mo. Let me just go back here. It's XENIAL. You have typed XENAIL, I think. Yeah, so you have to correct. This is there's typo. Yeah. So from the git bash, how you create a folder? You do mkdir. This is the command to create a folder. Mkdir Linux administration, and hit enter. It's going to create a folder for you. So from either how you would do it in Windows, you right click it, you go to downloads, and then you right click, and then you say new, and then folder, and then you give a name, Linux administration, whatever it is, right? So, but from the command line, or maybe from Linux, this is how you do. You do mkdir, and then the folder name. Biswas, we are coming to that one. So just give me a minute. We'll be coming to that. Which boxes do we need? Yeah, so if it's asking you for choice, select VirtualBox. It's asking you which hypervisor to use. So we will be using VirtualBox. So it's like when Vagrant is trying to create the VMs or do something, it's checking which hypervisor do you have, so that Vagrant can communicate with that hypervisor. The hypervisors are like Oracle VirtualBox is one, VMware is one, and even Windows, they have like some Hyper-V or something. So there are different hypervisors, but in our bootcamp, we will be using the VirtualBox. All right, guys, and we are in the middle of something, but do you think that we should take a break for 10 minutes now? All right, Brother Dawood, what do you say? Shall we take a break for 10 minutes? All right, maybe we finish this the downloads. Yeah, at this moment we're not downloading anything. You're right, but We are about to start the download, so I think this is a good time where you can take a break for 10 minutes. Right now it's 12:17 p.m. CST. Our time is here. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to talk about that. So let's take a break for 10 minutes, and we should be wrapping up the today's boot camp probably in the next 45 or 50 minutes. So everybody will have the Zohar time. So let's complete this one, and then we can go and we can do our Zohar prayer. So that's not a problem. Today in this bootcamp, what we will do is we will be up and running with the VMs. We are pretty close. All we need to do is trigger the Vagrant up command, and that will install that will create the VMs, and we will have the VMs on our laptop running. So I'm going to show you that one, and then we will wrap up today's presentation, today's workshop, and then tomorrow we will dive more into the Linux. So our goal as an ALMPG was to, get you guys rolling, with the Linux. What is Linux, and how you create VMs on your system? What are the basic commands of Linux? What is day-to-day usage, and a little bit about scripting, how you can automate stuff, and how to create a volume group on the Linux, how to add a disk, how to create a volume group, and how to make that ready for the application or a database to be installed. So today we will create the VMs, and I'll show you how to start the VMs, how to stop the VMs. We are very close to that. Okay, and then this infrastructure, your little data center will be with you on your laptop. Whenever you want, you can use it, and whenever you want, you can shut it down. So let's take a quick break for 10 minutes. It's 12:19 now, 12:20. We will gather again at 12:30 CST, okay? And then we will continue our workshop, okay? So go and just get relaxed. Just we're sitting since 2 hours or so. So just walk a little bit, have some chai or tea, and then come back quickly. We will meet at 12:30 CST. Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Great. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? Great. Sounds good. All right. So what I want you guys to do it. There's one of the VM which we will be using. It's a CentOS. So Vagrant box list. So you can run the command Vagrant box list. It show at this point for you nothing. And I want you guys to download this image. Yeah, so the command would be Vagrant box add and the image name. Please run this command. Well, you can start your git bash and run that command. Nadeem, are you on git bash? Did you open the window for the git bash? Yeah, so please open the git bash window. Do you see my screen? Select VirtualBox. Yes, do you see my screen? So open the git bash, the window like me. You should have the git bash. Yeah, we will talk about the course and stuff a little bit later. It should be in the agenda of FIFA, what we sent, so it should be there. We will touch a little bit on the programming as well. Yeah. So everybody see my screen? They can see the git bash window here. Okay, great. So I just typed the command. You can see my screen. It's a Vagrant box add and this arrow spike CentOS 6.5. So it's going to be Vagrant box add. That's the command you need to run. You create a Linux admin folder in your download folder. Yeah, please select VirtualBox option. Just because we will be using VirtualBox on which these VMs will be created. So use VirtualBox if asked. Yeah, select VirtualBox. And please let me know if you were able to download this box. Okay, please let me know when you've downloaded it. Just give me 1 second here. File. Key and watch. Share track. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to upload a file here so that you can download it. The one template. Back here, the job. Explore. Set up a new repository. Create a new repository. Explore. Configure. No. All right. Anyways, let me do this. So chat. All right. So once you have downloaded this image, let's start the VM. So now you create a folder in downloads. I think you have created the Linux administration. Let's cd into that folder. Okay. So I have this image, so I'm not going to download it. So are you all in? If you do a pwd, you should be in your Linux administration folder. Are you there? Yeah, I mean, if you cannot create the folder with the command line, you can do it from the folder level. Just in downloads, go to downloads and then right click and then do a new and then folder, and then you can give a name Linux. Okay, so once you create that folder, you can double click in and you can either go there, or from the command line, what you need to do is just cd and then the folder name, for example li or whatever it is, and then type that tab key. It will fill in. Okay, and then once you do that, just go inside the folder. Or else let me also create a folder, mkdir. I would name it as Linux, Linux underscore VM. Okay, so once you create this folder, all you need to do is just cd Linux underscore VM. cd Okay, I made a typo, so let me change that. MVLINI. So this is how you rename a folder in Linux. Okay, the command we use is move. So linux_vm. Okay, this is how you change the name of the folder. In Windows, what we do is we right-click on that one on folder, and then we do a rename. We do a rename, and then we change the name. This is how we do it in GUI. But in Linux, what you do is you use a command called nv, that is move, a short form for move, and then you give the name, the original name, and the name what you want to change. This is how you do it. Okay, so now cd into that folder. Okay, the command is cd space linux vm. Once you do it, if you want to verify, you do a pwd, and it will show you your inside downloads and the Linux VM folder. Once you're here, request to get a remote control. Okay, so once you're here, just type an ls, and you will see there's nothing in it because it's a new folder. All right, it's a new folder. So the command to start the Vagrant is you do Vagrant init. You run the command Vagrant init. Please go ahead and run that command. Okay, so did you guys run the command Vagrant space init? Okay, so you can see my screen. Brother Farooq says that the screen is not visible. Are you able to see the screen? Don't see it. So there are some people who are able to see and some not. So probably you can just pause it and then start again. Okay. So once you run Vagrant space init, if you run ls command, you will see that there's a Vagrant file which has been created. Okay, there's the Vagrant file which has been created, and this file, if you want to see this file, it has all the information. This file, yeah. So let me repeat this. All you need to do is create a folder called Linux VM. Okay, Linux VM or whatever name you want it to give. Create this folder in the downloads or Linux administration, whatever it is. CD this folder. Go inside the folder, and all you need to do is run the command called Vagrant space init. Okay, Vagrant space init. So I have a file. Usually this file is pretty big, and you know, you can just remove the stuff what you want and put your stuff. So I have created a file. Okay, and here if I go Linux administration and then the practice, there is a file here called Vagrant file. Okay, let me open this file. Yeah, okay, it's not opening properly, so let me open from here. So cd Linux administration. Okay, cd practice. So I have a file here called Vagrant file, the one which got created. But here I updated this file. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna send you guys. So if you see this file, okay, it starts from here. And in Linux, if you want to view a file, in Windows you double click it and a notepad gets open. But in Linux, what you use, you run a command called cat the file name. Okay. So once you do that, yeah. So once you do this one, the cat file, it will show you the content of the file. Okay. And if you see that it's starting from the hash, what that means is those are comments, and you know, this is for our own information, or if somebody is looking at the file, you can put the comments, and if you put hash, this will not be executed. Okay, the part which will be executed is only this one. Okay, so here what I did was I created 3 VMs. Okay, so I created 3 VMs. The first VM name is Web1. Okay, the second VM name is Web2. The third VM is DB server. Okay. And the OS, what it will have is the image which I requested you to download, Aerospike 6.5. Okay. So this is also the first one. It's a Web 1. It has the Aerospike, and the second, sorry, VM Web 1. Okay. So here's the VM Web 1. The first one. This paragraph is the first VM. Okay. So here the box name is Web 1. Do I need to type? Brother Javed, I'm going to send you this file. That's what I was looking at on the GitHub. If I can upload this file, you guys can download it. So I should have done that. I apologize for that. But this is the content which I'm going to send you. You can put it in a notepad file and save it and replace that Vagrant file which just got created with this one. So all you need is this content. Okay, this is the content what you need. So what this covers is it has 3 paragraphs. One for Web 1. This is the first VM, and the second is Web 2, and the third is DB server. Okay, this is the third VM. Okay, and what it says is which OS do you want? The OS name is Aerospike OS 6.5. You can use code share to share the commands and the link. Okay, but yeah, this is the file which I wanted to send it to everyone. So what do you think? I mean, I'm going to upload it on the GitHub right now because it's been a while for me playing around with the GitHub. So this is the file. If I can send you this file in the email, will you be able to send it to everyone, or will you be able to upload it someplace where everyone can download it? Okay, let's do this. So I will send this file. Is my voice breaking for everyone? Okay, so my voice is breaking. So let me just pause it and then start it again. 1 second. Do this one. Is it better now? Okay, all right. Okay, this sounds good. So it's better. Let me know if voice is breaking again, so that I can just do a reset on that one. But anyways, let me send this file to Brother Ilyas. Downloads. Okay, so let me go back here. All right. So what I was explaining was these 3 paragraphs. Okay, one is Web 1, and the OS, what OS do you want? So we have seen the Vagrant Cloud, and it has all the VMs. All you need to do is, if you want to download a different file, you replace this one. Okay, the OS with whichever OS you want, and then giving the IPs as well. The IPs as well, which is for 3 different VMs, we have 3 different IP addresses. Breaking again. Brother Dawood, is it okay if I log off and log in again back? Is it okay? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just disconnect and log in again. Thank you. See you in a bit. Hello, can you guys hear me now? Okay, is it better this time? Okay, sounds good. Yeah. All right. So let me go through this file one more time so that you know what exactly this is. Second. All right, so if you see this this file, it's a very simple file. You know, you don't have to worry about this one. It's a very simple file. All you need to do is put this one in the notepad file, and then you know, in that specific folder like Linux VM or Linux administration, remove that already the file which has been created, and then put this one. Okay, and you have 3 paragraphs. One is Web 1. One for Web 2, and one for DB server. Okay, and here what we're doing is we're okay. The voice is breaking again. Subhanallah. Or let me log out of the session and then come back 1 minute. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now? Is it better? Okay. All right, so okay, let me start talking and let's see, you know, if it breaks. Usually this doesn't happen, but I don't know, because of the network or so. But anyways, let me go back here. So I just sent the file. Probably we can try a few different things so that you can get this file. And okay, so you can download. Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Ilyas. You can download that file and go to your folder where you have the Linux, your Linux folder, and remove that file, the one which got created by default, and replace the file with this one. Brother Mushtaba, you don't have to download it. It's better if you do it. If not, then when we will be starting the VMs, at that time it will download automatically. Okay. So, but just for your info, the command would be Vagrant box add, and then the name of the machine, which is yeah. Brother Asim, he just posted that message. Thank you so much, Brother Asim. So that's a command. Even if you don't do it, then you know, when you're starting the VM at that time, it will automatically download it. But you know, for you to get more familiar with Vagrant, I did that. Yeah. So once you have that file, everyone in your folder, please just type you're ready, and then you can get started. You know, what I was explaining is that, you know, we have 3 paragraphs, okay, and these 3 paragraphs contains the information about the 3 VMs, okay. So what information what we're giving is the name of the VM, okay, and then the image what we want, okay. The image is this one. And now you know the Vagrant Cloud, you can download whichever VM you want. It doesn't matter. So it's up to you. So you can just replace this with any of your favorite VM. And now what we're doing is we're giving an IP address as well. Okay, this is the IP address. And these are the 3 important things. These are the 3 important things. And you know, there's so many things to customize in Vagrant. You can assign a specific memory, or you know, more or less, whatever you want, you can do it. Okay. So this is the web 1 paragraph, and now this is the web 2, and this is the name, this is the image, and this is the IP address. Is it possible? Can you repeat it after we download it? Yeah, sure. If you have any questions, let me know. But you know, I'm just trying to explain this Vagrant file. So all it has is the name of the VM, okay, the image what we want, and the IP address of it. So we have 3 VMs. Okay. So just now we will proceed with more. Let's give a minute or 2 more, and then we can proceed. So let's say if you want 5 VMs, all you need to do is just copy this paragraph and paste it again, and you know, just change the name and the IP address, and you should be good. So you can have as many VMs you want. Okay. Brother Ilyas, do you suggest me to dial in using the phone? Okay, let me do that. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Is this better now? Okay, sounds good. So let me do one thing here. Give me 1 second. Let me connect my headset. Can you guys hear me now better? Okay, great. Yeah. So I'm using my phone, and I just connected my headset to it, so I'm good now. So let me go back here. So let me rephrase it. These are the 3 VMs which we have put it in the Vagrant file, and we will be about to you know, start these VMs. Okay. So it's if this is possible, can you repeat after that? Yeah, so Brother Saad, you don't have to download it. All you need to do is just once you receive that file, put it in your Linux folder, and now the action will start. Okay, so now you have these VMs, and all you need to do is go be in that folder, and let me do this. Just do vagrant space status. Run this command, vagrant space status. Okay. Once you run this command, now you should see the Web1, Web2, DB server, and in your case, it should be saying like not created or something. So do you see this? Are you here on the screen? Brother Biswas, you have to do cd space dot dot. There should be a space in between. Cd space dot dot. Okay, Sayyid Hussain, just do an ls and see if you have a Vagrant file in your folder or not. That's the first thing. Okay. All right. So everybody should see this one. They should see the list of Web1, Web2, DB server, and most likely it should say not created. Yes, not created. So the command for those, the command should be vagrant space status. You can see it on my screen. It says vagrant space status. Brother Maqsood, you will know that in a bit. Vagrant environment machine requires a command vagrant init. Yeah, you have to run vagrant init initially, and then once you have that vagrant file, just replace this with this one. Yeah, you can delete that original file and then put this one there. Yeah, if you do not have any file in there, type vagrant init. It will create a file, then remove that file and put this new one. I am not sure why it's telling you to upgrade your PowerShell. PowerShell has nothing to do with this one. Are you using PowerShell or are you using Git Bash, Mushtaba? You have to use Git Bash and not the PowerShell. Should stay default. Okay, yeah. So once you have once you run the vagrant init command, it will create a vagrant file. That is the default file. You can remove that file and replace it with the file which we just sent you. So Brother Shabazz, you're getting the PowerShell error. I am not sure why you're getting this PowerShell. Brother Saad, it's not a default folder. When you run vagrant space init, it's going to create a file. Let me just write that one down. Once you run vagrant space init, it will create a vagrant file. Okay? So you need to delete this file. Okay? Delete this file and save the new file which we just sent you. When you run vagrant space init, it will create in your present folder. Okay, Brother Mushtaba, if that is the case, then You can use your command prompt as well. We don't, the git bash is not a mandatory thing. You can open your command prompt and cd into that folder, the one which you have created, and then you can put that file there. Okay, so it works with command prompt as well, the default Windows command prompt. The default Windows command prompt, it works with this as well. All you need to do is you need to go into that specific directory, and then here you have to use a dir command, and then cd downloads, and then you cd into your Linux folder, okay? And then you can you run dir command, and then you can save this one, the file, okay? I have it in practice folder. This is where I have the file dir. So you can use your command prompt as well. So if the git bash is not working for you, don't worry, use your command prompt. All right, so Ben, he already got what exactly we are looking for. So shall we proceed? Yeah, Brother Asif, I'm not sure why it's using the PowerShell. You can leave the PowerShell, you can leave the git bash and use your command prompt. If you see on my screen, I'm using the command prompt, the Windows command prompt. So use that one if you're seeing some issues with the git bash. Yeah, Brother Mujib, if you see the error, just keep the git bash aside, open the command prompt. Okay, just type on your search, type cmd, and then open this one, and you can do the same thing with this as well. All right, so now what you need to do is, you're in the folder, you see this, not created. All you need to do is just do vagrant space up. This is a command, vagrant space up. Vagrant space up. Run this command. And now you see that the VMs will start coming up. Brother Biswas, just copy the Vagrant file in your folder where you have the default Vagrant file. Just remove that and put the new one. And all you need to do is just run Vagrant status. It should show all the VMs. And the next command is Vagrant space up. Just run the command Vagrant space up. All right, so you will see that the VMs are starting to come up. Is it happening with you? Are the VMs coming up in your case? Yes, so we do see some of the brothers, their VMs are starting to come up. Yeah, it will take some time. And the third VM, what we have is actually that's not the Aerospike CentOS. It's a different one. I think I forgot to change in that file. And it has to download the Ubuntu one. So we have 3 VMs altogether. 2 VMs, Web 1 and Web 2, those are CentOS. The third DB server, the image is Ubuntu. So we didn't download that Ubuntu, so it will try to download it while it's trying to bring the machine up. Yeah, Brother Saad, don't worry about Git bash. use your command prompt. I think there's some conflict with PowerShell for you, so don't worry about that. And use your command prompt. Go into that folder where you have your Linux folder, and then run the Vagrant command. Yeah, Brother Shabazz, he's using the CMD, and it's working out for him. You don't need to add any administrator to your folder. You can name it whatever you want. Brother Akbar, if you scroll up, you should see the Google Drive link. Yeah, Brother Hassan just pasted the link to download the Vagrant file. Yeah, Brother Ilyas also pasted it. So use that, download it, and put it in that folder. Brother Amir, you can see my screen here. This is the command prompt. When you open the command prompt, you can pretty much use it like a git bash and go into that folder, okay? If you see my screen, I'm in that folder. Okay, go in there, and then all the Vagrant commands, what we are running here, it will work on your command. Does it need to be in a download folder? No, Brother Shabazz, you can have it anywhere you want. You can have that folder anywhere you want. This Brother Khaja, I'm not sure why you're getting that error. Maybe the VTX is not enabled or something, so make sure that that is enabled. And let's go back here. Now if I do Vagrant space status, I should see all the VMs up and running. Vagrant space DOT. Yes, so now you see that the VMs are up and running. Now it's in action. So let me copy paste this one as well. Brother Khaja, no, it's not necessary. Whichever image you want, you can have that. If you want CentOS, you can have CentOS, Ubuntu, Debian, whatever you want, RHEL, it's up to you. It is perfectly your choice. But what I did was I wanted to do it on CentOS, but for the DB server, I selected somehow the Ubuntu, so we can later on we can replace it. But at least we have two VMs with CentOS. So let me know if anyone reached at this stage where your VMs are up and running now. Okay, so Brother Hassan already there, mashallah. Yeah, well, Brother Farooq, we will wait for some time, but yeah, so people are coming close. Yeah, so Asif, Mustafa, you're there, done. Brother Javed is getting some error. Please paste your error in the chat. And alhamdulillah, we have more folks, and they can also answer the question if somebody has it. This is how we help each other. Okay, Sami also have his machines up and running. Hussein, yes, that's very good. Alhamdulillah. Biswas, if it says not created, then you do Vagrant space up. Run the command Vagrant space up. You're almost there. Okay, so Brother Ahsan, he also did it. Good job. Vagrant has detected a version. Version of PowerShell currently running. So Brother Shabazz, are you getting the same error even when you use the command prompt? Okay, so maybe there is some issue with your PowerShell or something. I don't know. Probably you may have to uninstall the PowerShell because we use two different applications and still it's pointing to that error. Means there is something wrong with the PowerShell. So I'm not sure if you need a reboot or to uninstall the PowerShell and reinstall it. I'm not sure about that. Brother Javed, I think your Vagrant file has you have some typos, or maybe you have by mistake edited your Vagrant file. Just delete that Vagrant file and re-download it and put it in that folder. We don't need PowerShell, Brother Syed Hussein. We don't need it. For some reason, there's a conflict, so you may have to just get rid of the PowerShell and install it later on. All three are up and running. One over. Okay, I did. Brother Saad, you can use VMware Workstation as well. When it will ask you at some point which hypervisor you want to use, you can select VirtualBox or you can select VMware. That's not a problem. Brother Asim, you can do Vagrant space up space DB server. We can, if you do just up, it will up all the machines. If you wanted to just bring up one machine, you can do Vagrant space up space and then the name of the server, DB server. So I see two of the VMs are up and DB server is not created. So just do Vagrant space up space DB server and it should bring that one up as well. All right, guys, so once we are here, now the main thing, how we log into the machine. That is the climax, okay? So the command for that one is Vagrant SSH web1 and hit enter. So whichever VM you want to SSH to, just do Vagrant space SSH space web1. Yes, you're inside the Vagrant machine VM running on your system, and if you wanted to just elevate your privilege sudo su minus, that means you will become a root user. Okay, now you're a root, and if I do cat space /etc Red Hat release version, this shows that we are at 6.9. Okay, this is the version of the CentOS or the Red Hat. Okay, so this is how you log in. So please log into your VMs right now. Brother Nair, probably you may have to do Vagrant halt space web2 like this, Vagrant space halt space web2, and then do Vagrant up web2. So try this one. Let me know if you guys are inside the VM web1. So all you need to do is Vagrant space SSH space web1. To Vagrant space SSH space web1. Great, and then you can sudo, and then you can become a root. Yeah, that's great, brother. Yes, mashallah. Great. Amazing. Yeah. So this is very good that we created an environment and now we are inside the VM. It's up and running. Yes, because you're a Vagrant user and you logged in as a Vagrant, so it's not going to ask you for a password or anything, but just an FYI, the user name is Vagrant, okay? And the password is also Vagrant. Just in case if it asks you password, just you type Vagrant and that's it. And again, this is, Vagrant is helping us, bringing up these machines, bringing it down. And you might have observed that we didn't even touch the VirtualBox. That is the beauty of Vagrant. Okay, you don't even have to start the Oracle VirtualBox. As a matter of fact, it is running on VirtualBox, but you don't even have to touch it. That is the beauty. So within one command, Vagrant space up, you're starting the VMs, Vagrant space halt, you're bringing it down. You're downloading the images from the Vagrant cloud, and you're just using your VirtualBox just like a tool. So this is really good. Javed, can someone share the Google Drive link for the Vagrant file? For Brother Javed, he needs to download the Vagrant file. If someone can put that link there. Thank you, Brother Hassan. Thank you. Yeah, so Brother Javed, please download the file and put it in the folder, and then you can start your VM. Now, the thing is, let me open the VirtualBox as well, just to show you. If you see the VirtualBox here, you see Web 1. Where is it? It's, yeah. So you have Web 2 here, Web DB Server, and Web 1. These are your VMs, right? These are your VMs. So, yeah, so you don't have to use the VirtualBox except one thing which I'm going to talk about. But this is where your VM is residing. I mean, one may say that, is it Vagrant on which the VMs are running? The answer is no. It is the VirtualBox where you're creating a VM, okay? But you're using Vagrant as a tool to communicate with your VirtualBox. And if you see this screenshot, what we have, right? So this is what Vagrant is doing. It is in complete control of your VirtualBox. Okay, so with Vagrant, we are creating VMs, V1, V2, V3. We can delete it, we can start it. You don't even have to touch the VirtualBox. You don't even have to touch the right side box. All you're doing is you're using Vagrant, and you're downloading the images, you're starting the VMs, you're controlling the VMs. Everything is being done with the Vagrant. Great, and I see a lot of people, they are already here. That's very good. Congratulations to you. You have set up your own data center in your own laptop, okay? And we can start status not created. So yeah, you just do a Vagrant up and you should be fine. And yeah. Bringing machine default with the VM. Brother Biswas, it says the machine name default. What that means is you haven't deleted the old Vagrant file, okay? So you have to remove that old file and then put the new one. So guys, and one more thing I wanted to show you today before we wrap up. This VM, the Web 1, it is up and running. It is connected to the outside world internet. For example, if you wanted to do the security update on CentOS, you do yum update space -y. What it will do is it will access the CentOS repository, which is on the web, on the cloud, and it will perform all the updates. You can see it on my screen now. So if I type yum update space -y, it shows that it's going to the repository, downloading all the latest fixes, and it is updating that. So your VMs are not confined in your laptop. They have access to the outside world. Okay, now it's accessing the security patches and everything, and it just updated it. Okay, so so it's up and running. It's totally functional, and this is your VM. And if you see from here, you can go to you can SSH to your different boxes. For example, if you wanted to go to Web 2, let me do this. What is the IP address for the Web 2? Let me just see from here real quick. It's, I think, 192.168.8.11. Let me see. Let me open a new Git bash window here. And CD, downloads, Linux, administration, practice. And if I do a cat on Vagrant file, okay, so the Web 2, what is the IP of it? 192.168.8.11. Okay, so if I do ping 192.168.8.11, it's pinging. Okay, so now let me just exit from the root privilege back to the Vagrant user.
Now I'm the user right now. What I am is Vagrant. Okay. If I do sudo space su minus, I will become the root. And if I want to descend down to the Vagrant user, I do exit, and now I'm Vagrant user. So let me do SSH 192.168.8. What is that? It's 11. Okay, 11. It's asking you, do you want to enter? Do you want to do this? Say type yes. And now it's asking you the password, which is, as I mentioned, the Vagrant user is a Vagrant. The password for the user Vagrant is also Vagrant, V-A-G-R-A-N-T. Cool. We are now in Web 2. So now you have a machines, Web 1, Web 2 DB server. They have a network, and you can jump from one VM to the other. Okay, so in our next session, this is what we're going to do, how you SSH from one VM to the other. Okay, and this is what happens in real time. You have so many machines. You have to sometimes copy files, directories from one VM to the other. You have to SSH. You have to do different things. So we have these machines up and running. They're functioning. They're connected to the net. And let me do sudo su minus. And now I'm on Web 2. Let me make sure that the machine is completely up to date. The command is yum update space minus y. If you run this, it has connection to the web outside world. It's pulling out all the updates, and it will tell you that everything is up to date. Brother Waqar, it's a very simple thing. The Vagrant file, you need to know those what to put in, and you can edit this file. Okay, and on the Google you will have so much of material that how to create a Vagrant file. They will tell you that all of these fields are mandatory, and for example, if you want to add something else, okay, so you can add another line for it, and then you can customize your Vagrant file. So the one what we have is the basic file, which has the image, what we need, the IP address, the name of the VM. Okay, so these are the things. So here we completed the the security update by using a yum update minus y command. Okay, and this is how we create the VMs. Yes, Brother Waqar, you can create as many VMs you want, provided that you have resources available on your laptop. You should have enough memory, you should have enough CPU, then you can create it. If I want to create 5 more VMs, I'll copy this paragraph and put it again, and then just change the host name, the IP address, and the name of that. Okay, the host name, the image what I want, and the IP address. So you can create as many VMs you want. You have an up and running, functioning, connected to outside world environment on your laptop right there. And once you're done practicing, all you need to do is here, Web 2. So let me exit out. I'm on Vagrant user now. Let me exit again. Yeah, so the session is closed. And if I do Vagrant space status, if I do Vagrant space status, it's going to give the same thing that these machines are up and running. See here. So once I'm done with it, all I need to do is Vagrant space halt. Once I do that, it will gracefully shut down the VMs. Let me do that. Brother Miraj, you have to use the full command is Vagrant space SSH space web 1, not just SSH web 1. Use Vagrant space SSH space web 1. So now you can see it on my screen how it's halting the machines gracefully. It's a graceful shutdown. It's shutting down DB server and then the web 2 and then the web 1. Brother Zahid, you'll have to see what error you're getting when you're trying to, for troubleshooting, it depends on the error, what error you have. So depending upon that error, you can troubleshoot it. Okay, so now it's bringing down the web 1. All right, so it's down. So let me just, with your arrow keys, you can toggle the commands, whatever you used. If I press up arrow key, all of these commands are popping up, what we have used in the past, okay? So arrow key up and down, and let me do the status again. The default memory, I'm not sure. It may pick the minimum what it requires, but if you want to make it higher, you can put it in the Vagrant file. And how to create a Vagrant file? If you Google it, it will give you all the steps. And Vagrant is very popular. Vagrant tool, some of us may not know, but it is the tool right now for even in the real-time environments, not in the production, but for testing purposes. A lot of people use Vagrant files, Vagrant tool. And once if you have your OS and then you wanted to customize it a little bit, install your applications on that, what you can do is you can create a Vagrant VM image of it and upload it on the cloud, and then you can have your coworkers or your friend download that one, and then they will have the same VM on their laptops. So Vagrant is very famous, and it has so much of material on the internet. So how to create a Vagrant file, you can get the notes. If you're getting some error, just Google that error. You will most likely you will see the resolution for that. And sometimes what happens is, for example, Vagrant Web 1, right? So we messed the Web 1. We deleted something, or some of the directories may be deleted, or it's not working properly, or it's not booting. All you need to do is just Vagrant destroy Web 1. Vagrant destroy Web 1. Okay, so it's gonna ask you, are you sure? See, I just do yes. Okay, and it's destroying the VM. Okay, and all you need to do is just do Vagrant status again. Okay, so it says not created, and again, all you need to do is just do Vagrant up Web 1. It will recreate the file. It will recreate your VM. So you don't have to sweat, or you don't have to do much troubleshooting or whatever it is. So if you have messed up the file, the VM, just destroy it and then recreate it. That's it. It will take another minute, and then you will have your new web VM Web 1 ready. That's it. So it's so simple. It's so easy to use. And with just one command, you're starting your VM. Imagine if you have to use a VirtualBox or VMware, you have to first download the ISO, and then you have to go that manual, that clicking process, GUI, screen by screen, and then it takes its own sweet time to do the installation of that 400, 500 MB file, and then finally you log in. You're leaving all those hassles. With one command, you have your new Web 1 created. So it's as simple as that. So now you're creating Web 1, and it will be up and running, and it will ask you to, you can log in. It's as simple as that. Brother Akbar, you can send me an email with your concerns and stuff, and I'll try to help you out. I think it is for the beginners, it may look like a little bit complicated. I am with you. I agree with you. But we could do step by step, and you should be here as well. So don't worry about it. If you have any questions, just send me an email, and then I'll try to help you out. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so now the Web 1 is ready. If you do Vagrant status again, then you will see the Web 1 also. Yes, as Brother Ilya said, that the session is getting recorded. We have done everything, while the recording is going on. All the tools what we're using, all tools are free. Okay, the Vagrant, Git Bash, Oracle VirtualBox. We don't have to buy anything. Everything is open source tool. So now, you can watch the video and, try to do it by yourself. If you have any questions, please let us know. Yeah, the disk space, usually, by default, it takes like 30 GB, 20 GB or something. That's not a concern. As long as you have space, it's going to take it. If not, it's going to prompt you that, it's falling short of the disk. So the VMs, what we have created, those are by default settings. It will pick the default RAM, default disk space, and all that stuff. So are these servers independent? Yes, they are independent. I mean, these are the VMs which are being created in the virtual box. So these are independent. But the thing is, if you shut down your PC, they're going to go down. If you kill the process of virtual box, they're going to go down. All right, guys. Then we thought of doing it till 1 o'clock, but it's 1:39, and I know there are people who have joined from India, and it's getting pretty late for them as well. What we will do is I'll just summarize what we have done so far, and then inshallah we can do the tomorrow's session where we will dive into Linux. Now this is what today what we did was we studied about what exactly is Unix and what is Linux and the different flavors of Linux, what Linux plays role in the IT market in this day and age, how important is Linux, why Linux is better than Windows, and the tools what we need to create our own data center on your own laptop. Whenever you want, you can raise up those VMs, do your practice, and whenever you don't want it, you just do a Vagrant halt, and all those VMs go through sleep. So the tools what we used was Git Bash. If Git Bash is not working out for you, you can use the CMD command prompt. Okay, that's not a big thing, but we need Vagrant and Oracle VirtualBox. These are the two tools which are needed. We downloaded them, we installed them, and there's no issue with the installation. It's just click next, next, next. And then once we have done that, what we did was we have a Vagrant file. We just ran a command called Vagrant, and it created a Vagrant file. We replaced it with our own Vagrant file. All we did from there is just to do Vagrant up. Once we did Vagrant up, those VMs stood up, and then once they're on, what we did was we did a Vagrant SSH to the box name, Vagrant SSH Web 1, Vagrant SSH Web 2, and if you want to elevate your privilege, what you did was sudo su minus. Okay, so the Git Bash, the good thing about the Git Bash in today's bootcamp was that all we have used, those commands, they are all Linux commands. So staying right on Windows, we have practiced Linux commands. So that is a very good thing. So you got familiar with the Linux commands, and you got to feel how Linux looks like. Okay, so this is all we did today. We also did like an update, security update, yum update space minus y. You can just do yum update, but it will ask you, are you sure? And you, instead of typing yes, I just used a flag minus y. So it didn't ask us, are you sure? So that's how you do the security update, and it also shows that these VMs are connected to the internet as well. So this is all for today. I hope I didn't bore you guys. It's a long session, more than 3 hours, and I pray that this thing helps you in your future, in your career, in your present work and workplace, and may you benefit from this. So tomorrow, inshallah, we will meet again at 10 p.m. CST, and hopefully it will not go too long. We will do some of the stuff, but be prepared for the 3-hour session, inshallah. So, Brother Dawood, Brother Ilyas, if you could wrap up the session, that would be great.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdul Wahab. May Allah bless you with the best in this world and the hereafter. Jazakallah khair. Let me take the ball back, inshallah, and then I can just wrap it up. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Oh, are we taking, Brother Abdul Wahab, are we taking any questions?
Yes, if somebody has questions, yeah, we can do that. If every one of you have patience and strength, let's do that. I'm okay.
Okay, no, inshallah. I think most of the questions you covered was in the chat box itself. So if we have any questions, let's take 5 more questions, and inshallah I'll open the floor for 5 more questions. Any 5 brothers or sister, please put in first come first serve, and then inshallah we can come back tomorrow and have our questions answered. Okay, I already got question 1. Permission error while trying to do SSH from Web 1 to Web 2.
Yes, for that one, don't do it using the root. Okay, just descend back to the privilege for Vagrant user. Do not do it using root. Become Vagrant user and then SSH to Web 2. And then it will ask you, do you want to continue? Just say yes. And then they will ask you for the Vagrant password. The Vagrant password is the same. It's Vagrant, VAGRANT, and you should be able to SSH to that box.
All right. And Brother Nair has this question, the command for login in Web 1.
The command for logging in into the Web 1, that is Vagrant space SSH space Web 1. Okay? Just do Vagrant space SSH space Web 1. You should use Vagrant word first. If you just do SSH Web 1, it will not work.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. One brother has a question. He said, recording please. Yes, inshallah, the recording will be available. We'll upload it on YouTube, inshallah, in a couple of days, and inshallah, you will have it. Wasim Ahmad, when I tried the SSH, it gives me an error. Okay, Wasim Ahmad is asking, when I try to SSH from Web 1 to Web 2, it gives me an error. On that, what is the error?
Yes.
If you could, yeah.
Yes, Brother Wasim, looks like you are already in Web 1 Linux host. So in Linux host, you don't have to use Vagrant there. You can just do SSH Web 2.
Jazakallah khair.
So,
okay.
Yeah, from
Let's
the
take
get back.
one.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Got it. Let's take one more question, and inshallah we will end up the session today, and we can continue the same questions. And inshallah, brother Ilyas said that he is a part of ALMPG team too, like me. And brother, by the way, brother Abdul Wahab is not just volunteering; he's also a part of, alhamdulillah, ALMPG team. Jazakallah khair, brother Abdul Wahab. I know this is a lot.
Yeah.
So let's take our last question, and inshallah you must be also tired. Okay, I'm going up. Hold on. Everybody's asking questions, but the question time is done almost. It's a lot of work for 2-3 hours. So let's see. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, I am trying to catch up with the question after that one, brother Wasim.
So, brother, that
the changes I make to server will affect there.
Yeah, if possible, if we can make like a Facebook group or anything like it, so that people could post their questions, and others will also have opportunity to answer that question. So if we can make like a Facebook Linux group or something, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. But instead of a Facebook, which might take a lot of time, we can do a WhatsApp. If you want, like the one we did for AWS, and once our 2 sessions are done, we can just delete the group. This is a kind of temporary group. I know we at ALMPG we really don't entertain WhatsApp group because there is no control over the messages sometimes. So inshallah we can do that. So maybe brother Ilyas can create a group for us, and he can just put the link in the email after our session. And we will pass you all, everybody. So inshallah, just utilize that group, inshallah, for further questions. And those brother who alhamdulillah got knowledge, you can also try answering those questions, inshallah. So with this note, I wanna once again thank brother Abdul Wahab for all his time, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, brother Abdul Wahab, and all of you who have joined from all across the globe. We have people from Dubai, India, mashallah, so many places, from the other part of the world. You guys are calling in when it is night there and it is day here. So subhanallah, this is a great success for all of us. Make sure you guys make dua for the whole team of ALMPG and also for brother Abdul Wahab. And inshallah, with this note, this is your brother Dawood Ahmed with the whole ALMPG team. I want to end with the dua. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Inshallah, and inshallah for tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair.